Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel AWS DevOps Niche Level. So in this video, we will see a lab demo on Prometheus in Kubernetes. So how can we have Prometheus reach out to the alert manager within a Kubernetes cluster? So what is a prerequisite for this lab demo? You need to have a EKS setup, that is a Elastic Kubernetes cluster has to be set up within the AWS environment. And what are all the steps that we will go through as part of this lab? First, in the EKS cluster, I'll be installing the HELM because we are going to deploy Prometheus and AlertManager using the HELM charts, right? So the first step would be to install HELM on this EKS Bootstrap instance. Secondly, I'll be installing the HELM chart for Prometheus on this EKS Bootstrap instance. Then we will see if Prometheus is able to connect to the Alert Manager successfully, because in this case, both Prometheus and Alert Manager, they are going to run as a separate pods within the Kubernetes cluster, right? So we need to access them via the portal by creating a service. Then we will also see how do you send a test alert by using a curl API to see whether Prometheus is able to send the notifications to the alert manager. So these are the steps that we are going to do as part of this lab demo. Now let us move ahead. So first, let me log into the EKS Bootstrap node where I have deployed the EKS cluster. So this is my EKS Bootstrap node. If I go to the AWS console, you can see that there is a EKS Bootstrap from where I deployed the cluster, EKS cluster, and there are two worker nodes that is available as part of the cluster. So if at all you have not watched my video on how do you set up a EKS in AWS, I have put the link in the description of this video. You can refer that video. Also, you can also look at the video on the right side of this video. Okay, so now I have already logged into the EKS Bootstrap node. First is we will validate the cluster health. I will give the command EKSCTL cluster -- region AP-south-1 because my cluster is in the Mumbai region. So this is our cluster name. It is test-cluster. Right. So on this EKS cluster, which is comprising of these two worker nodes, this is my worker node 1 and this is my worker node 2. So on this, let us first go ahead and install HELM. So installing HELM in the EKS Bootstrap instance. So now let me follow these instructions to install HELM. First, I will be downloading the HELM binaries which are available from this repository get.hem.sh. So I will do a wget. Let me copy this command. Okay, so HELM has been downloaded. Now let me go ahead and untar this file. We'll give the command tar -xvzf. Copy this file. So it has extracted the packages. So now let me log into this, or let me navigate to this directory, Linux-AMD64. That is where we will have the actual HELM binary. So now what I will do? Now we need to add the repo name, which is Prometheus-community from this particular URL, right? So I'm just going to give this command, HELM repo add. This is the repository, and this will be cloned from this link. So let me copy this command. Okay, so it's saying this is already existing. Probably I might have downloaded it earlier. Let me also give the command repo update. Okay. Now what we will do, we will install the Prometheus and Grafana. This will include the Grafana packages as well, the pods as well, by using this command. HELM install Prometheus. This Prometheus here is the release name, and this is the chart name, Prometheus-community/cube-Prometheus-stack. This is your chart name, right? So I'm directly going to give this command to install this HELM chart, so that as part of this, it is going to install the Prometheus, Grafana, and all other components within Prometheus. So let me go ahead and copy this command. It's saying can't use a name that is still in use. Okay, let me see. Probably I'll give the chart name as Prometheus 1. Or we will see whether the chart is already uninstalled. First, we will uninstall the existing HELM chart. /HELM. Uninstall the release name. Release name will be Prometheus. First, let me uninstall the release, and then we can afresh install the release again. Okay, so that HELM chart has been installed now, and we should be able to see all the pods related to Prometheus, Grafana, etc. So we will verify that. I will say kubectl get all. This is going to show me all the pods, all the Kubernetes components basically for this Prometheus and Grafana. Now, if I want to just grab only for the pods, okay, now you can see these are all the pods that we have. So this is the pod for Prometheus AlertManager component, right? This is the Prometheus AlertManager. This is the one for Grafana. Then this is for Prometheus operator. Then we have some pod for cube state metrics. Then there is Prometheus cube, Prometheus-Prometheus. Then we have 2 pods for the node exporter. Okay, so these are all the pods that was created by installing this HELM charts. Okay, now what is our next step? We have installed the HELM in the Bootstrap instance. We have also installed the HELM chart for Prometheus in the Bootstrap instance. Now we will see if Prometheus is able to connect to the AlertManager successfully. So how do you check that? Because in this case, it's not a Prometheus running on a standalone EC2 instance. This is running as a pod. Okay, so in that case, how do you verify if Prometheus is able to connect to the AlertManager? So what we need to do is, we need to create a service to access both Prometheus as well as AlertManager from the web browser using the load balancer, or it can be a node port also, but I'm going to create a service using a load balancer. Now let us try to access the Prometheus console by creating a service. So how do I do that? So first is, I'm going to export a service file for the Prometheus pod onto this particular YAML. Okay, so if I grep for service kubectl get service -o wide, and then I'm going to grep for Prometheus. So this is a service I have for Prometheus. So what is the service name? It is Prometheus cube Prometheus. That is this one. This is my service name. And currently you can see this is running as a cluster IP address, which is an internal IP. We will not be able to access this from the internet. So what we need to do, we need to create a service with the service type as a load balancer for this particular service name. So how do I do that? Let me execute this command. So kubectl get service, the service name is this, and I am just redirecting the output to the YAML file called prometheus.yaml. Okay. So now what we will do, we will edit this prometheus.yaml file. And let me go to the end of the file. Here you can see the type is cluster IP, right? So I'm going to change it as load balancer, so that a load balancer will be created and we can access Prometheus through the load balancer endpoint. So I'll update as load balancer here. Right. So now we need to apply this YAML file to the Prometheus configuration. So what I will say, kubectl apply -f prometheus.yaml. Okay. So it has applied the configuration. Now what is the next step? We will do the same thing for AlertManager also, because we need to access the AlertManager console as well from the web browser. So we will have to export the service file for the AlertManager to the YAML and then create a service type as a load balancer. So let me copy this command. Okay, let me see what is the service name for the AlertManager. kubectl get service grep -i AlertManager. This is the service name. Let me just check if the AlertManager pod has to be reinitialized. Okay, so this is my pod for the AlertManager. Okay, this is the not the pod name, basically the service name. If I also check for the pods, kubectl get pod grep -i AlertManager. You can see there are these are the pods that is running for the AlertManager. We have two pods running here. Okay, so now what we will do? Now we will export the YAML file for the AlertManager, and then we will change the service type from cluster IP to the load balancer. Let me execute this command. So here I will go to the end of the file and type cluster IP. I'm going to change it to load balancer. Right now, let me apply this configuration to the cluster. kubectl apply -f AlertManager.yaml. Okay, fine. For both Prometheus as well as AlertManager, we have updated the service type as load balancer. Now we should be able to access it from the web browser. Let us verify. First, we will try to access Prometheus. So I will go to the load balancers here. Let me see the load balancer for Prometheus. kubectl at service. Oh, why? Okay, so This is the one for AlertManager. If we have one for Prometheus also. Okay, we have one for AlertManager, but we don't have for Prometheus. Let us just verify once. We will now put this to the Prometheus YAML file. Oh, I think for some reason this is not updated yet. So let me go ahead and take this load balancer, then kubectl minus here prometheus.yaml. Okay. Now we will see the service for both. kubectl get service grep load balancer. So we should be able to see two load balancers here, right? One for Prometheus and other one for AlertManager. So this is the one for Prometheus and this is the one for AlertManager. Okay. Now let me try to access Prometheus using this load balancer. So the Prometheus one is A29970. Let's check for this in the load balancer console. Okay, this one is for Prometheus. So let us see whether the instances are registered. I think it is still the process of registering it. The first one is already in service. Okay. Fine. Now both the instances are in service. So what I will do is I'm going to grab this DNS endpoint and then I will try to access Prometheus using the port 9090, right? Prometheus can be accessed on the port 9090. So now you can see that this is our main Prometheus console. Okay, now from here, we will see whether Prometheus has discovered the AlertManager pod also. How do we check that? I go to status, I go to target health here. And you can see here the first, the first pod itself is the AlertManager. Okay, so Prometheus has successfully discovered the AlertManager. You can see here the service name, it says Prometheus AlertManager. Okay. Now we will also try to access the AlertManager endpoint as well. So I will go to the other load balancer. This is the first one. This is for AlertManager. I'm going to grab this DNS endpoint and we can access AlertManager on the port 9093, right? That's the default port for the AlertManager. So you can see here, this is our AlertManager console. Now, both are running as pods. Okay, Prometheus is running as a separate pod and AlertManager is running as a separate pod. We are accessing them from the web browser using load balancer service type. Okay, if you want to check for the pod again for Prometheus and AlertManager, I can say kubectl grep pod grep -i Prometheus. Okay, so this is your the main pod for Prometheus. This one is the Prometheus and this one is the AlertManager component of Prometheus. These are the pods. Okay, and we are trying to access these pods only from the web browser using the load balancer service type. Okay, so now we saw that Prometheus has already discovered the AlertManager endpoint successfully and we are also able to access the AlertManager console. So what we will do as a next step is we will try to send a test alert from our Bootstrap instance itself and we will see whether it is picked up by the AlertManager so that we can confirm that Prometheus is successfully able to send the alert notification to the AlertManager. If that happens, then we can configure additional rules to send the alert notifications to the email or Slack channels, etc. Okay, so we will first do this basic test. Send a test alert via the curl to check whether it is picked up by the AlertManager. So what I will do is, this is my format for sending the test alert. I'm going to copy this. you can see here, this is the way how we can have Prometheus send a test alert to the alert manager endpoint. So you can see here, it is curl -x. The method name it uses by default, it is the post method. Okay. And then we have to provide the endpoint of the alert manager. And this is the API for your alert manager. You can see here /API/v2/alerts. And what we need to do, we need to replace this with our load balancer endpoint. So let me copy the load balancer endpoint for the alert manager. I'm going to replace this with this one. Rest everything will remain the same. Okay, so this is my load balancer endpoint for alert manager :9093. The API URL is /API/v2/alerts. Then I'm passing the content type as application JSON. Then I'm giving some parameters here for my alert. My alert name is manual test alert. It is going to come with a major severity. Okay, the summary is this. Manual test alert description. This is the description. So let us see whether we are able to pass this alert to the alert manager, and if you are able to see this in the alert manager console. So let me copy this command. Okay, I'm just putting it in the command line here, and I will just say enter. Okay, so looks like it got executed successfully. Now let me go ahead and verify this in the alert manager console. So if at all the alert is received, I'm going to refresh the screen, and let us just verify it. Now in the null not group, there is one alert. What is this alert? This is the watchdog one. This is different. Okay, this is the alert that we just sent. You can see here. Alert name, manual test alert. Severity is major. Okay, now we can see that Prometheus is successfully able to send the alert notification to the alert manager. Okay, so this is the same alert that we just sent, and we will also send maybe one more alert with a different severity. Probably now we will send the alert severity as warning. We will see whether that is also captured in the alert manager console. Okay, you can see it. This is the alert with a warning severity. Let us go back and verify it again in the alert manager console. Not group 4 alerts. Let me click this. Okay, you can see here. There is one more alert we got with the warning severity, right? So this is how you can have Prometheus communicate with the alert manager. And once you define your alert rules.yaml file, in which you can specify the SMTP server details and the target email address to which you want to send the alert notifications from the Prometheus, then that can be configured as well. But in this video, I just want you to tell the basics on how do you access a Prometheus console that is running as a pod using the load balancer service type. How do you access the alert manager using the load balancer service type? And how do you ensure Prometheus communicates with the alert manager, and how to send a test alert to the alert manager and confirm that if the alert is picked up by the alert manager. Okay. So I hope this video was helpful to understand more about how to make Prometheus communicate with alert manager when they are running as a pods within the EKS cluster, and how to send a test alert as well.